In this video, I will show you 3 easy ways to draw trees. How's it going everyone? I hope you're all doing good. So I'm going to show you how to draw some trees here, and I'll start off by drawing 2 lines across my page. This is just for me to line up each of these trees and have them be on the same height. So this bottom line will be the bottom of the trees and this line above will be the top. Here I'll start to outline a tree trunk, and coming off from the top of this will be a series of branches. Now at this stage I'm going to just draw some lines for each of these branches, and on them I draw some more smaller branches, and I have all of these fanning outwards. On top of this there will be the leaves of the tree, and so now I start to outline the shape of the tree, essentially outlining the outside of these leaves. Now the good thing about drawing trees is that no 2 trees are the same. You can follow these steps but draw them your own way. So don't worry too much about having them appear exactly how mine do here. This outline I'm creating will also have some gaps in it where you'll see some more branches. I'm also considering the shape of the tree as I do this. I gradually begin to taper the outline inwards as I get closer to the top. Now I'm going to draw in some more branches within those gaps in the leaves. This can be fairly random, but again, make sure to draw some lines for these branches and then have some additional lines coming from them. So now I have this outline that I am happy with, and I'm going to start applying more pressure with the pencil and work over this, creating some darker lines. I'll begin with the trunk of the tree. To shade this in, I create some small varying marks with the pencil to produce a subtle texture representing the bark of the tree trunk. Now when it comes to drawing the leaves, many people can have a hard time, but I have a real simple method here that involves simply drawing some smaller dots which come together to form the leaves. These dots are more like circular marks which I create with the pencil, and I start to fill in the outline I had made for the leaves. I do this for all of this and it can take a while, but I think the results are worth it. Now that I have these leaves drawn in, I work over the branches within them, and I now have a tree that I am happy with. So that is one way to draw a tree, and hopefully you found that easy to do. But now let's draw another tree. This one is going to be a spruce tree, the type of tree people use as their Christmas tree, except here we won't be adding any decoration on ours, or you can, I mean that's up to you. So again, I'll start by outlining the shape of the tree, and you'll notice here that the trunk of this one is very short and you can only just see it at the bottom there. The leaves are going to form that typical triangular shape, and as you see, I'm essentially stacking these sections on top of each other. These sections look like triangles with their tops chopped off, and they start larger in size at the bottom here. Your outline doesn't have to be perfect, it's just a way for you to guide yourself as you start to render it in more detail. So this is my outline for this one, and now I'm going to work on the leaves. Now this time I won't be drawing a series of circles, instead I'm going to be drawing a series of lines which head in various directions and come together to represent the leaves for this tree. I think this is a more ideal way to draw the leaves for this one. So I don't stick to my preliminary outline completely. I will work outside of that, like I said, I just have that as a guide, but as I draw these lines, I want you to notice how I start to add some darker shade underneath each of these sections. This will become more obvious when I work over this soon. I continue to repeat this technique where I'm drawing all of these lines in varying directions up to the top of the tree. So now I have the first layer created for these leaves, and now I will work over them in detail. I'll start by shading in the trunk that we see at the bottom. I add some texture to this, and then I'll start to work into the leaves that I had previously drawn. So here I'm going to darken the shaded areas under each section of the tree, but I want this to still look natural, and so I'm quite loose with my lines. Again, trees are random, you know, you don't have to worry about being so precise when doing this. I apply more pressure with the pencil to add some shading to this, and I eventually get to a point that I am happy with. So there's another way to draw a tree, and I'll show you one more way to do this. This tree is going to be the most complicated of them all, but I mean they're all pretty simple anyways. You shouldn't have too much trouble drawing these if you follow along here. I'll start by outlining the trunk for this tree. Now here, this isn't going to be very wide at all. In fact, I'm going to draw out two trunks which are near each other, and these are very thin, and at the top of these there will be some branches which span outwards, similar to the first tree that I had drawn. And again, similar to that first tree, I will outline the shape of these leaves. These will again have some gaps within them, and this outline will act as a guide for me when it comes to drawing the leaves in more detail. So here is my outline for this tree. As I said, it is a little more complex in comparison to the other two, but you know, that's why it's the last one. Here I will start to shade in these two trunks for the tree and the branches above. To draw the leaves for this tree, I'm going to approach it in a similar way to the first one that I had drawn, except the circular marks I make aren't going to be as tightly together, if that makes sense. Like, I'm going to let my pencil create some looser marks in different directions, and these will be at different sizes. They're also going to be at different shades, because in some areas I will make these leaves darker to create the effect of shadows underneath them. As I draw these leaves out, I'm also considering the overall shape of them. Like, I want to have them gradually getting smaller at the top. Like, you know, in most cases when you draw a tree, you have the bottom be a lot larger and then it rounds off at the top. So I also work over the branches, which can be seen within these leaves. So that is the last and final tree. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I haven't produced a tutorial like this for a while. You know, I've been focusing on perspective drawing quite a bit, so it was fun to do something like this again. If you found it helpful, be sure to leave a like, and with that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed the content I create, then do consider becoming a patron on Patreon. You will gain access to exclusive tutorials, study documents, process papers, real-time drawing footage and more. Plus, you will also be supporting me in a more personal way. Other than that, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you soon.